This Halloween makeup is actually super easy to do and it looks great when you're done. I am just putting on my regular foundation. The beginning part of this tutorial is a lot of my everyday makeup. So I'm just using the Wet n Wild Photo Finish foundation, I believe. I love this foundation. It's definitely my favorite drugstore. I'm just using a brush to blend it all in and make my skin tone all one color. Next, I'm going in with the Wet n Wild contour stick. I really love this contour stick as well. I've been using this underneath my eyes instead of concealer lately. It's really brightening and I really like how it blends out. So I'm just doing the lighter color underneath my eyes, and then I'm doing the contour on my cheekbones, and I'm doing extreme contour on my cheekbones. I usually wouldn't do this much, but I just want to go for the dramatic look because this is clown makeup. Once I'm done putting that on, I just blend it all in with a beauty blender until it's all seamless. I am setting my entire face using the e.l.f. powder, and I wanted to do this because I wanted to sort of lighten up my skin. I didn't want it to be so, I guess, bronze looking. I wanted to kind of look dead and white, so that's why I went in heavy with the powder. But I did use this Physicians Formula bronzer. I wouldn't even really call this bronzer. It's so subtle. It's just like a shade off of my regular skin color, but I really do love this. I'm going in now with the Kat Von D powdered contour kit. I'm obsessed with this contour kit, and I am again going in super heavy-handed on the contour, and I go back in later on with the darkest shade. So this is the lightest shade, and I'm going in on my cheekbones, underneath my jawline, and then a little bit around my forehead area. As you can see, this contour is absolutely ridiculous. I do go back in a little bit later and blend it out some more, but I swear that when I was looking in the mirror, it did not look this absolutely ridiculous. I'm using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette again, and just using the lightest shade just underneath my eye area to set in place, and also to catch any fallout from when I do the eyeshadow. Of course, for clown makeup, you have to put on blush, but I just put on a subtle amount of blush now, and then after I'm done my eyeshadow, I go back in with my actual eyeshadow palette and put more of a pinky color on my cheeks, just so that I can see where everything's at after I do my eyes. I didn't want to do super dramatic everywhere. I blend it all in, and then I go into my eye area with the NYX jumbo pencil in the color Milk, and I just blend this out. I just wanted to do this so that I could have an even base, and I also wanted pretty white on the bottom portion of my eyelid. To set that white eyeliner, I am just using my Take Me Back to Brazil palette, and I'm using the white color just to set that in place. The eyeshadow palette that I am using for this entire look is the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. I really do love this for Halloween makeup. It's got super bright colors, and I really do like this. In this palette, there are a ton of colors that are around the pink shade, but there's only one that's really red. So that is the only color that I go in with besides black to deepen it up. It looks a lot more red on camera than it did in the mirror. It actually kind of looked really pink in the mirror, which is why I keep going back in with the black to try and darken it up. I started the opposite of a regular eyeshadow look. Usually I would be heavy-handed on the outside of my eye and lighter on the inside, but this one I started on the inner corner of my eye and then sort of drug it out when I had less on my brush to the outside of my eye. Once I had a little bit less on my brush again, I just drug it up above my eyebrow area, and I wanted this to sort of look like horns, but also you'll see later when I do the spike above the one eye, I wanted to kind of mimic that, but also sort of make it look bloody and just more red. So this is where I add the black in to try to make it less pink looking and more of a red. The black didn't really blend in and do what I wanted. It kind of just made it look a little bit muddy. So I do go back and forth multiple times and try to blend it out. I think I got the colors a little bit better on the second eye, but the good thing about Halloween makeup is if it's not perfect, it's okay. It's supposed to look messy and like I was a clown in a fight, so it worked out fine. I am also focusing this eyeshadow mostly on the crease area and above. I'm avoiding putting it right on my eyelid because I want to keep that a light color. I always find that looks are so crazy and look so bad until you put on the final touches and then you're like, oh, this actually doesn't look that bad. I'm going back in with that exact same color again, minus the black, just the straight red pink, right underneath my eye area. I did try to blend it out a little bit when I had less on the brush, blow it out, I guess, so that it was quite low. I would never use this technique on an everyday makeup look just because I'm more scared of the blown out look, but because it was Halloween, I decided to try it. I went back in with a lip liner in red and I tried to do like a wing liner and it didn't really work because the lip liner was not the greatest. So I just am going in with concealer here to sort of make any mistakes invisible, make my lines a little bit more sharp on the upper area as well as around my eye area. Here is my attempt number 2 at doing the eyeliner with the really bad lip liner red pen. I did kind of get sort of an outline. I really liked how there was a gap on the second eye that I did. You see how there's sort of like a skin color gap in between. I really liked that that showed up like that. I didn't even really have that idea, but I wanted to create it on the first eye. So what I did is I blended the lip liner eyeliner sort of idea in to the bottom area with the eyeshadow again, and then I went back in the middle area with concealer to try to make that gap on the second eye. Once the concealer that I used to clean up underneath my eyebrows was dry, I set it in place using that same white color that I used to set my eyelids at the beginning with the BH Cosmetics palette. I wanted this to be a lighter color. I didn't want pink or red or anything in that kind of area. Once I set that in place, then I went back in with my original brush and I just sort of blended out the lines of the red, pink mixed in with that white. Here I am just using my regular eyebrow products that I use every day, and I just did my eyebrows the exact same that I do every day. This is the Benefit pomade in the color 02. I really do love this stuff. The liquid eyeliner pen that I'm going to use through this whole look is my favorite. It's the Physicians Formula one. It's from the drugstore. It's like $12 and it's absolutely amazing. I am not very good at doing eyeliner on the top of my eyelids. As you can see, I'm literally pulling my eyelids away from my body to do it, but I wanted to do that to blend in later on when I put on my false lashes. This is where I'm going to be doing the one spike above the eye. I'm just trying to match up the best I can to make straight lines at the bottom, and I didn't want this to go all the way to my actual eyelashes. I wanted to stop it right in that crease area. Once I had the base down, that is when I just filled it in with this eyeliner pen. I took that base shape that I just made and I tried to follow the lines and drag it up my forehead. You don't want to go straight, you kind of want to go on a diagonal so that they do meet in a peak. This was a lot of trial and error, sort of doing it, fixing it up with concealer just to get it sort of perfect. Once I had it lined up the best that I thought I could get it, that's when I colored it in. I also tried my hardest to color in around my eyebrow area so that it's sort of all matched. After I did clean it up with a Q-tip to make it a little bit more sharp, I cleaned up with a Q-tip. Then I also went in with concealer. And then that is when I went back with my eyeliner pen and I tried my best to make it a sharp peak. Here I'm just using my finger to pat down the concealer just to make sure that it's not sticky and that it's drying properly so that nothing else sort of drags it around and ruins anything else. I'm going in with mascara now on both of my top eyelashes. I'm just doing this so that my eyelashes blend in with the false lashes that I do end up using. These are what the Halloween scars look like straight out of the package. The skin color around it is quite white. Here I'm trying to figure out how I want to put it on my skin, how I want to sort of lay it out. You definitely have to go in with foundation on top of these afterwards because they do not look realistic at all straight out of the package. For some reason, my camera cut out when I was doing my makeup, so I don't have the end. I will walk you through everything that I did with hopefully screenshots so that you can actually understand what I'm saying. So it cut out right when I was doing my false eyelashes. So all that I did was I used the same eyeliner pen that I had used to do the spike at the top. I just lined my upper lash line. I put on a quick coat of mascara and then I used dramatic false eyelashes and I've just put those on. You can use whatever kind of false lashes that you want, whether you want them really big. I thought about putting another set of false lashes on the bottom just to make it look creepier. But I just decided not to do that. But once I had my false eyelashes on, the exact same eye that I already had this spike on the top, I thought about doing it on both sides, but I thought it'd be creepier to just put it on the one side. So the side that I did have the spike on at the bottom, I just did the exact same sort of thing with the eyeliner pen. So I just did like a drop, like a really thin sort of triangle down, and then at the bottom I just did a sort of drop, leaving the inside not filled in, so I didn't color it in with black. I let the eyeliner dry down just a little bit just so that I didn't move it around, and then I took a thin white eyeliner and I just filled in the middle part, and then I also took the thin white eyeliner and I did sort of along the side of the bottom triangle, and I just went back again and cleaned it up the edges with the black eyeliner. As for the other side, where I didn't have the spike at the top, I just did another tiny little triangle at the bottom. I didn't put a teardrop or anything on this one. In my liner area, I used this NYX jumbo pencil in white milk. And so once I put on my false eyelashes, I did do regular black mascara on one eyelash, the same one that I did the teardrop with. That was black mascara at the bottom. On the other eye, I thought it would look kind of creepy to just do the jumbo eyeliner pencil, but then also to rub it onto the bottom lashes so that the bottom lashes were white instead of black. So I had black and then white. For the cuts, I used these shredded cuts. You saw in a clip earlier that they all did come in one piece and how they wanted you to put it on your face. I just cut them so that I could decide how I wanted to put them on my face myself. So I took all of the different pieces and I sort of just figured out how I wanted them. So these don't look very realistic. Obviously these are used, so they look a little bit more realistic than when I first got them. But I just decided where I wanted them on my face, and I had chose to put these scars on the opposite side of the spike, just so that it kind of balanced my whole face out. I did not realize that this kit didn't come with glue, so I just ended up using my eyelash glue, but it was black, so it did go through on the skin, as you can see. But I just used eyelash glue and put it on here, and then I just stuck it where I wanted it to, and I just put them all over how I wanted them to, and I just let them dry. Once those were dried down, I went back in with my foundation shade just on a foundation brush, and I just went around the edges. I didn't really care much if I got any of the foundation on the actual cut because I was going to fix that afterwards. So I just tried to blend it the best I could into my actual skin, and then sort of push down any edges that kind of lifted up from before. For the nose, I just used the black eyeliner pencil again, and I just sort of traced out. I wanted it to look like the nose was ripped off, so I just traced the outside edge, and then I colored just a little bit on each edge with black. I didn't cover the whole thing with black. And then I just used, so when I cut up these scars, they had these little extra pieces, so I just glued just an extra little piece, kind of like folded over, looking like it was like ripping out on top of my nose. And then once that had dried down, I just left it the sort of black color of the eyelash glue, and that's when I went in with the blood. So I'll talk about that afterwards. So for the mouth, I just traced on the upper edge of my lip here, and I traced like this, and then I just did sort of a smile line out, and I just did that both sides. I made sort of a thin line here, and then I brought it down, and I filled that in with the black eyeliner. I filled in sort of a thick line around, and then in my actual lip space, I just used a red lip pencil, or lipstick, sorry. And then I just sort of tried to blend the red and the black in together. Once I had all of that done, I also put some scars on my neck, and I would suggest trying to find a spot that no matter which way you turn your neck, it's still sort of flat. So kind of like more in the middle area really worked. So I did two. I did one here and one here, and the one that I put here, it started to move throughout the night, so you can see like even like when I move like that. So it did stay glued here and here, and it was just sort of like this. What I did is I just loaded in here with fake blood, so it kind of looked like my skin was ripping out, so you can use that as an idea too. But I did find it kind of annoying, and I kept having to like see if it was still on there. For the fake blood, I just used this kit just from the Halloween store, and I just loaded this on. So once the foundation was dried down onto the scars, I just went in with my finger and put it all. I tried to focus it the most in the actual scar area, and then once I had most of it off my finger, then I'd start blending it into the skin just to sort of make the whole area look sore and bleeding. I also did that to the nose. I tried to put dripping blood on the nose, and then I also did it in the mouth area too and along the neck. So I would put some of this on. I used my hair dryer a little bit to dry some of it down, and then I kept adding this on. I probably put about 4 times this on just so that it kind of really stayed and also sort of looked like fresh and still kind of wet a little bit. I did have these blood capsules, and you're supposed to cut off one end and put it in your mouth, and I did that part for where the blood was coming down from my chin area. I put it in my mouth when it was cut, and I squeezed down, and then it came out my mouth, and I sort of let it drip down over the sink, and then I went like this. These blood capsules taste absolutely disgusting, so the second one I just cut it and let it drip down my, and that's how I got that effect at the bottom part. And my last finishing touch was I used this brand, it's called Luxe or whatever. I got color contacts. I really wanted whiteout color contacts, but they were all sold out, so I got something called Hulk, and they were pretty much just green with the black in them. I think that those turned out really well. I put those in the last thing that I did when I was done my makeup. Just be careful not to get anything else in your eye with it. I didn't want to wear them while I was doing my makeup because I was just wearing them for even longer. I would be very careful. Those are good color contacts. I know that you can get really crappy ones that do hurt your eyes, and I would caution you against that for sure. As for my costume, I don't know what the costume's called. I got it used at Value Village. It's just like a trapeze artist costume. I put some white legging tights at the bottom, and I basically, whenever I did the blood on my face throughout the night or whatever, I would just wipe my hands on the leggings. That's why they have blood stains on them. The only prop I had was I got 3 helium balloons just to carry around, the red balloons. For my hair, it was so easy. My hair's disgusting right now. For my hair, all I did is I took a brush and I went all around the edges, and I just backcombed the crap out of it, and I sprayed it with spray paint so that it kind of was gross and backcombed like this. And then I grabbed the bottom part and I just put it into the messiest, grossest, small bun. And this part would be all backcombed and up here. And I used a hair elastic, and then I just pinned everything the way that I wanted to. And then I just went absolutely ham with the Halloween hair spray can. So I used white, and I just went and used the whole can spraying my hair. I hope that that tutorial helped you. I'm really sorry that my camera cut out. I know it would have been way easier for you to actually just watch me do it and see the struggles that I've had and how many times I had to redo something. But overall, this did take, I think, about an hour and a half, but that's hair, makeup, getting the clothes together and everything. It was really fun to do. I found that I really enjoyed doing this sort of makeup, so hopefully I will find more. Sorry this is up later than Halloween, but maybe you can use it in 2019 or another year. But thanks for watching, guys. Bye.